the pagan origins of Easter and its connection to Christian traditions. Before we start, please click the like button for this message to reach innocent souls. Subscribe and share. Have you ever wondered why Easter, the most important day in Christianity, is celebrated with chocolate eggs, colorful baskets, and bunnies? What do eggs and rabbits have to do with the resurrection of Jesus Christ? Well, the truth might shock you. Because what most people don't know is that Easter, as we know it today, has roots in ancient pagan traditions. In this video, we're going to uncover the untold history of Easter, how it came to be associated with Christianity, and why it's so important to examine the origin of what we celebrate.
Easter is widely known as the day Christians celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, the cornerstone of Christian faith. According to the Bible, Jesus was crucified, buried, and rose on the third day. This event is so central that the entire Christian calendar revolves around it. But if this day is about Jesus, why is the word Easter not in the Bible? Why do we celebrate it with rabbits and eggs? And why does the date of Easter change every year? Let's dig deeper.
The word Easter is not Hebrew, not Greek, not Aramaic. It actually comes from the name Eostre, an ancient pagan goddess of spring, fertility, and new life. This goddess was worshipped by ancient Germanic and Anglo-Saxon people. Every spring, they held feasts in her honor to celebrate rebirth and fertility. Over time, this festival became associated with the spring equinox, the time of year when daylight and darkness are nearly equal. This was symbolic to many cultures as the return of life, the rebirth of nature after winter. Later, the name Eostre evolved into Ishtar in Babylonian mythology, the goddess of fertility, sex, and war. Sound familiar? It's no coincidence that even Ishtar's ancient celebrations included symbols like eggs and rabbits.
So how did eggs and rabbits become part of the Easter tradition? Let's break it down. Eggs have always been a symbol of birth and new life. In ancient pagan rituals, eggs were decorated and used in ceremonies to celebrate fertility. Rabbits, especially hares, are known for reproducing rapidly, so they became a symbol of fertility and abundance. In one old German legend, the goddess Eostre turned a wounded bird into a rabbit that could lay colored eggs. That story became part of early folk traditions. These two symbols were never about Jesus. They were about sexual fertility, nature, and seasonal cycles. But somehow, they ended up in one of Christianity's most sacred holidays.
Now you might be asking, if this all comes from paganism, how did it enter the church? Here's where history gets really interesting. In the year 325 AD, Roman Emperor Constantine convened the Council of Nika. This was a major meeting of church leaders that changed the course of Christian history. Among other things, the council decided on a universal date for celebrating Easter. But instead of following the biblical Hebrews Passover timeline, they aligned it with the spring equinox, the same time as ancient pagan festivals.
Why?
Because Constantine wanted to unify the Roman Empire, pagans and Christians alike. So he merged Christian themes, resurrection, new life, with pagan traditions, fertility, spring festivals, to make everyone happy. But in doing so, the pure truth of the gospel got mixed with man-made traditions and rituals that God never commanded.
Now let's ask, what does the Bible say about this kind of mixing? God is very clear in both the Old and New Testaments. Take care that you be not ensnared to follow them, pagan nations, and do not inquire about their gods, saying, how did these nations serve their gods, that I also may do the same? Deuteronomy 12:30. You cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of demons too. 1 Corinthians 10:21. God does not want his worship mixed with worldly or pagan traditions. And nowhere in the Bible do you find Jesus or the disciples hiding eggs, drawing bunnies, or celebrating anything remotely like modern-day Easter. The early church remembered Christ's death and resurrection through the Lord's Supper and baptism, not through festivals rooted in fertility gods.
Some might say, well, it doesn't matter where it came from, it's what it means to me. But here's the problem. God cares about how he is worshipped. He doesn't want us to redefine pagan holidays and call them Christian. He wants worship that is in spirit and in truth. John 4 verse 24. When we celebrate Easter with symbols of other gods, Even unknowingly, we can be partaking in traditions that mislead others, especially our children, and distort the true meaning of the gospel. If the resurrection is the most powerful moment in human history, why wrap it in a lie? Why not remember it the way God intended, with reverence, gratitude, and biblical truth?
So what now? We're not here to attack or condemn anyone, but to bring truth into the light. Yes, Christ is risen. That's the most powerful truth we could ever proclaim. But as followers of Christ, we must be willing to examine what we believe and why we believe it. Let's strip away the layers of culture and tradition and get back to the Word of God, pure, untainted, and holy.
What are your thoughts on the origins of Easter? Let us know in the comments below. And if this opened your eyes, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and remember, truth matters more than tradition.